All right, we'll be talking about the historian, but before that, let's talk about the founder of history. Herodotus is often regarded as the father of what? Of history, simply because he wrote about the Greco-Persian Wars, and that will not be a topic for today because Herodotus is a scholar on his own who wrote history in prehistoric times. And of course, there is no history without the historian. There is no history without the what? The historian. What does that simply mean? That it is the historian that writes about what? History. And it is the information that the historian gives to you that makes you to believe that this is what actually what happened. And the historian may choose to tamper with what? With the information he gives to you because he is the one that investigates the past. So therefore, there is no history without the historian because the historian investigates the past and makes inquiries about past events. So that brings us to the historian and his facts. What do you mean by the historian and the facts? There is what we call objectivity and subjectivity in history. And what is objectivity in history? Objectivity in history is simply writing history without any form of what? Of bias. While subjectivity in history is the process in which you write history with some form of what? Of biasness or self-interest or personal what? Opinion. And it is very important and sacrosanct for you to understand that history should not be written based on what? Personal what? Perspective or opinion. For history to be called history or for objectivity in history to be attained, the historian has to write history with what? With written facts and available what? Evidence. The interpretation of an historian to an audience or to any given society is very important in history because it is how he interprets history that is very important. Let's say, for example, if an historian who is writing the history of two communities who were engaged in a war, he may likely write the history in the favor of his own world community, and in that way objectivity in history cannot be attained. Objectivity in history cannot be attained.